Hello and welcome everyone, I'm MillAdel and this is another StarCraft 2 England cast. Now guys, today I've got game 1 of a best of 3, it's from the Zotac Cup and it is between MillAdel Scott, who of course is the orange Protoss player in the top left, and in the lower right is VP BenQ's sLivko, who is the blue Zerg in the lower right position. And well, this basically means that we're going to have on our hands today a PvZ, and I'm super looking forward to it. Now, I haven't cast for what is probably about 12 days, and no one will have noticed, which is brilliant because I was pretty sly. I built up a bit of a bank of casts which I could release every day, but it does mean that I could be a little bit rusty now, so I do apologise. But I've been at the London 2012 Paralympic Games and it's been awesome, and obviously that was following up from when I was up at the Olympics, so I've been super busy. But I am back to StarCraft now and should be casting every single day yet again, and I'm desperately trying to get my hands on a Heart of the Swarm beta key, because then of course I can get on the way of casting some of those awesome pretty beta games in order to really find out what all the new units are doing and everything else. But for the moment, sticking firmly to Wings of Liberty, going to keep up my usual schedule, get quite a few tournament games going, also in the process of doing some cool little things which not many people will know about, but again, I will release more information as and when I know. It's going to be some bigger events and things like that, so I'm super excited about it. Now, basically, what can we expect from a ZVE? Well, so far, I don't know, actually going for a stand opening, going for that gateway and first. Now, usually you tend to see, especially on a Hana, which is of course the map, you tend to see a Forge Fast expansion just because this area here is so narrow, it's absolutely crazy. And then of course you can get your expansion down even before a Forge, and that again is a good economical open. And speaking of doing crazy openings, we do have sLivko here going for a hatch first, which is completely different to what you'd normally tend to see, because generally you are so concerned about your opponent going for that Forge first and coming and cannon rushing you or something like that. You have to get the spawning ball before your hatch. So far, basically, neither player is doing the standard meta game, which I love, because that means we should see some interesting things. Now, obviously, we do have here Adel getting down that cybernetics core, everything going pretty damn standard. There's the second gas, so it's going to be a pretty tech-heavy play. That ultimately is what you tend to see. If you see that second gas come down, it's usually very tech-heavy. Obviously, the fact that the second gas is there means it's probably not a 4-warp gate, which, of course, is something that is always in the back of everyone's mind as a very, very strong, early aggressive play. Could be something like a 3-gate robo. That in itself is quite effective. There's also this little area here which can be utilised by Blink Stalkers. Warp Prism's always an option as well, because there is that dead space, easy ability to drop up there. So we'll wait and see exactly what is done. sLivko probably going to go for a more standard, just drone, get up a third base relatively quickly, because ultimately that's what you do as a Zerg player. Now, let me just take this time to say, if you do like my casts, please hit that subscribe button. I get new games up every day. Leave a cool comment below and like the video. Also tell your friends and everything, because ultimately, for me to grow, get more exposure as a caster, and ultimately get access to better games, then obviously I need to become more well known. So anything you guys can do to help would be absolutely amazing, and especially if you like my cast, then that'd be great. Now, here we go, Del just expanding up, so that second gas will be really interested to see what's done. Now, interesting, 3 harvesters on each gas. Something you sometimes see is 2 harvesters on each. Now, that is a very efficient way of gaining a lot of extra gas without quite going to the commitment of 3 each, so we'll be able to see what Adel has planned. A Stargate is always a possibility. It's something which you do see Liquid Noni do, where he very quickly grabs down that Stargate at the front. It's a similar build, and considering we're not seeing anything else yet, who knows? We do have the Warp Gate tech on its way. They're kind of boosting our probes still. That Overlord coming in, we'll see the expansion. And therefore, sLivko knows that getting that base was the right move to make. The first gas has already been thrown down, but all the drones pulled out because Zergling speed already on the way. So a slightly earlier Zergling speed just to be on the safe side. Again, a good move there by sLivko. And now here we go. We do have 2 more gateways coming down. So essentially just an awful lot of sentries, but Adel getting up an awful lot of additional gas. I mean, he's already up to nearly 300. Now, this is going to be some 4-gate, but obviously with the second Nexus down, that's actually a really nice bit of 2 gates pressure you can do off of 4 gates. I'm thinking that we're almost certainly going to see something like a Immortal Sentry push, because the sentry numbers are getting pretty high. It's a good 2-base play, very, very effective. We'll see if that's true if a robotic facility rather does come down anytime soon. Now, obviously the 3rd base nearly up. We do have a 4th gateway on the way now, so that'll take the grand total to 5 gates. 5 gates is pretty potent. We do have some sentries getting warped in here as well, but still no sign of any kind of real higher end tech, and that's really quite interesting, because obviously if you are going to go for that Immortal Sentry timing push, you need to start thinking about getting that out soon. So far though, quite a few Zerglings just sprinting across the map now. for sLivko, who's also getting up his Roach one and a second gas already. Now, this actual Zergling push-up will scout everything, all the units moving out, so again, that's a good indicator of what sLivko needs to do in order to defend this, putting a lot more Zerglings ready to try and get a good defense. Is going to be able to pick up that Zealot if he chose to engage, but won't have a very cost-effective engagement with all of those additional sentries and the 2 Stalkers there. But maybe he could go for that Zergling one by. That'd be very, very potent. There isn't a full wall off there, but a very, very quick warping goes down. Now we drop 4 pylon. This is going to be a lot of pressure for sLivko to deal with right now. He does have 4 roaches on the way, but he does not have enough Zerglings, in my opinion, to deal with this quite yet. He could go for a nice run. He's got okay positioning. This third base is in an awful lot of trouble, though. Some force fields will have to be forced right now in order to try and defend these sentries. Zerglings probably be best pulling back now because they're not going to be able to engage cost effectively. You have more roaches on the way as well as more Zerglings. Those 4 pylons are getting picked off, but one further back is still of course up. So for the moment, sLivko does seem to have enough units and will pick this up very, very nicely. So to be honest, that did not do enough damage. If we look at the resources lost, way, way more lost for Adel compared to sLivko right there. So he could have some major, major problems. This next warp in of units also getting completely surrounded by the Zerglings. There's not enough sentries there to get a good number of force fields. The roaches, well, the Zealots aren't even going to be able to help this situation. The sentry will probably get focused because that, of course, is very, very gas heavy, and gas is a very limiting factor. The Zerglings will easily be able to counter and pick that up. And essentially, this is picking up very effectively here by sLivko, and now I'd say he is definitely in an advantageous position. He's got his lair done, of course. He's getting up that road speed, and if I was him, I'd now transition into really a lot of roach Zergling pressure, because ultimately your opponent doesn't have the units out. Adel forced to get more gateways up. That would take him up, I believe, to 7 or perhaps 6 gates. And well, we've got the roaches here. They're doing big damage to all of those Zealots, and with just one Stalker, those roaches are going to be able to actually go to town. And I mean, I would not like to be in Adel's position now. Does get that next force field down, but in come more roaches and just constant damage. These roaches are engaging incredibly cost effectively. The force field is preventing now the Zealots from being able to get in to attack the roaches. More streaming across the map as we speak. The 2 additional gateways are about to be up and running very, very shortly. Well, this is all getting very, very tough for Adel to deal with, and to be honest, there's not much Adel can really do. sLivko is just in such a dominating spot. If we look at the work count, 58 to 48, could see a wave of drones. That would be really, really nice. Just to really pull sLivko ahead in terms of the economy. And this is quite a hard place to push into, just because there is so little space, and ultimately the Zerg player does want a lot of space in order to get the better arc. So you have more roaches on the way over the robotic facility coming down here for Adel, so I'll probably use for the Zerg, maybe some immortals as well. Perhaps things up to cross over. We do have a big push in now, and sLivko, well, to be honest, I don't think Adel is going to be able to hold this. Those sentries will go down very, very quickly, and just look at the damage. The roaches targeting everything they can. We've got a couple of Zealots getting morphed in, but they are instantly taken down. The sentries all gone as well. That means the wall off is very hard to achieve. And without the force fields, I can't see any way Adel will be able to defend this. And of course, more units streaming across the map. Quite a few roaches not even rallied in. Just sLivko microing all of these roaches, focusing the fire down on anything and everything he can. All the Zealots getting taken off, and here come the reinforcements. And this will probably be GG. Adel and half the supply of sLivko right now. A couple of roaches gone in, just attacking the main mineral line. And of course, all of these units now cleaned up very, very easily. Probes being pulled, that is never a good sign. One force field will stop, and there goes the GG from Adel. So, game 1 does indeed go to sLivko. And of course, stay tuned for game 2. Flick over to my channel, you'll be able to find it there. Subscribe, leave a cool comment below, and like the video though first. That would be amazing. See you at game 2 any second. Bye for now.